We could sign an agreement. As you know, that would be a first step. It's what happens after the agreement that really is the big point. But yes, we could absolutely sign an agreement. We're looking at it. We're talking about it with them. We're talking about it with a lot of other people. But that could happen. But that's really the beginning. Sounds a little bit strange, but that's probably the easy part. The hard part remains after that.
That was President Trump today. Of course, he hosted Japan's Prime Minister Abe. This is at the White House and ahead of this highly anticipated North Korean summit in Singapore on Tuesday. Now, Trump says Japan, South Korea, and China will all be key players in helping to make this deal with respect to denuclearization of North Korea. Here now to discuss, Jim Hanson, Security Studies Group President, former member of U.S. Army Special Forces, retired U.S. Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant Jessie Duff, who's with us as well. She's with the London Center for Policy Research, a senior fellow there. Gunny, let me start with you. We also had heard from Mike Pompeo, who was a little bit more direct. He actually said that North Korea, Kim Jong Un, understands not only what denuclearization means, but he sounds like he's willing to accept it. Should we start to get a little bit more excited? Because I know you've been a skeptic about this meeting.
You know, you always have to be cautious when you're in the industry that I've supported my entire life, because once you let your guard down, that's when you're vulnerable to attack. We're looking at about 300 massive moves that the president plans on taking against North Korea, but he's not going to bring those forward until after the talks happen. And if Kim Jong Un is resistant, then we will not be able to move forward with him, and he's ready to walk off the table. However, I am excited because we've gotten further with this than we have since 1953. We've been at war technically for 65 years with North Korea. So this is a beautiful step forward.
You know, Jim, of course, those additional tariffs sort of like the sword of Damocles, and then you're throwing a few U.S. aircraft carriers off the coast of North Korea. And I think Kim Jong Un understands his alternatives here are pretty tough. You've got the Prime Minister of Japan today saying that they would help, they would invest, saying great things about the North Korean people. Imagine all the investments they could get from Japan, South Korea, China, along with security. It sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me.
It's time for Kim Jong Un to take advantage of that. And he knows what the alternatives are. If he doesn't denuclearize, he's got a huge problem. So what we're talking about now is, can he and President Trump come to a face-to-face agreement, big dog to big dog, about is this actually going to happen? It's not about the details right now. This is a first meeting to size each other up. There's a bunch of people complaining, you know, that Trump hasn't prepared enough. It's not like he needed to sit down and figure out where every piece of their nuclear program is. He didn't do that when he built a skyscraper in New York. It's not like he thumb wrestled with the building inspectors over code. He had to figure out whether the deal could be done. He's playing art of the deal with Kim, and we're going to find out if there's a deal on the table.
Jessie Jane, what do you make of folks who are saying it's actually Kim Jong Un who's playing the art of the deal with President Trump? President Trump next Tuesday will elevate him to his level. Jim just said big dog to big dog. Maybe that's just going to be enough. I find it far-fetched, but that's the alternative discussion out there.
Well, I find it very interesting that the Japanese and everyone is talking about economic freedom for North Korea. We are so far from that. Let's be realistic. He is a dictator. Once his people get a taste of freedom, he will get probably overthrown. He knows this. Once they understand what the rest of the world has been living like while they were in a hermit kingdom, when the people who have been tortured have a voice, this isn't going to happen that quickly, simply because his power is based upon his dictatorship. And he now is in a corner because of these 300 massive sanctions that President Trump...
Okay, real quick, though, because I'm getting the rap signal, but I want to get Jim on this. Or he could have a kleptocracy, not unlike Vladimir Putin, where he stocks away an extra billion and those around him make enough money. Listen, Vladimir Putin, his stock, his popularity amongst his people are through the roof.
Look, Jesse's right. Kim's in jeopardy one way or the other. He's in jeopardy if he doesn't play ball, because he's been told, we will destroy your military hardware and your regime if you don't come to the table. So he's got to make a deal or lose, and then he's got to deal with the fact that his people may take advantage of that. But he doesn't have a choice of just walking away. That's not an option.
That's right.
All right. Thank you both very much. Appreciate it.